Hi everyone, it's William, and it's August 2024, but we're going back in time to 1906, 26th May 1906, which was a Friday. And there go the dogs. Well, yeah, so it goes. All right, let's dive in. Well, before doing so, I need to take a look at what happened yesterday. Yeah. Just Dimitri talking about having coffee with Aunt Ella, and she's always late, and yeah, pretty uneventful. But today we have a more eventful diary entry. Okay. Alas, today is our last day here, so that's not good at all. Tkachev came in the morning, and I worked almost 2 hours with him, from 10 o'clock until 11:45. We had coffee with Aunt at 9:30. She's in quite a good mood today, although, as always, she's restless and thinking about the soldiers, about Zakharchenko. She left this morning at 10 o'clock to drive to Gatchina in an automobile with Aunt Mops. We rode in it yesterday after tea. Aunt Mops took us. Yesterday evening before dinner, Aunt and Uncle gave us gifts to commemorate our 6-month stay with them, which was frightfully touching. Maria got a chain with gems, and I got a wonderful watch. We gave them little icons. I don't know how Aunt Alex is feeling today, because yesterday she wasn't feeling well at all. She had a terrible toothache and a headache. I don't have any more time to write today, and with a heavy heart, I lay down my pen until we get to Ilinskaya. Oh, how sad! Exclamation point. Okay, our little poet. All right, I will say up front that I don't know who Tkachev is, and I don't even know how to pronounce it. Obviously, he's one of the tutors, he's one of the teachers, and they work together on something until almost 10 o'clock. So here where I live, right across the river from Portland, right across the Columbia River, we have a local figure of note, historical figure called Chekolov. And he was a Soviet flyer who made the first flight. Good Lord, I should know this. But it was a long flight. It was a record-setting flight, and he landed here. And there's a street name after him, and everybody here calls it Chokolov. But the correct pronunciation of the name is Chekolov, and that is, in fact, there's a city named after him in Russia. So that would be spelled CHK. And this name is spelled TKA. So what to do with that? But anyway, I did my best. All right, so he has a lesson, and then he goes and has, well, before the lesson, he had coffee with Aunt at 9:30. That's her routine, and so he and Maria are adapting to her routine. She's in a good mood, but she's restless, as always, and thinking about the soldiers. So she's left her soldiers behind in Moscow and in Ilinskaya, her wounded soldiers, and she wants to get back to them. And Dmitri calls her restless, which is interesting, you know. And I as soon as I read that, I thought, yeah, he's right. She was always going from one place to another, and when he was not with the Emperor and Empress in Tsarskaya Selo, she was taking him all over the place, even when he was older, even when he was 16, 17 years old. Wherever Aunt Ella went, he went, and she does seem to have been kind of restless. So we can't discount the trauma that she herself experienced when her husband was blown sky high, and she went out to gather body parts, and my God, yes, that's almost the definition of trauma, and maybe she's dealing with it by sort of just moving around and focusing on these soldiers of hers. And one in particular Dmitri mentions is Zakharchenko. That's a Ukrainian name, actually, but Zachar is an old Slavic name. It's the Slavic form of Zachary. And anyway, apparently this man was of particular concern to her. Maybe he had a particularly grievous wound or something like that. Let's hope that's all it was. Anyway, so she set off at 10 o'clock with Aunt Mops. So who was Aunt Mops? She was the Duke of Oldenburg's wife. So there were these various German dukes in Russia who were part of the imperial family on the maternal side, and who basically grew up in Russia and were very Russified. And one of these was the Duke of Oldenburg. I think Nikolai Nikolaevich's mother had been a Duchess of Oldenburg. I'm not sure, but anyway, that was Aunt Mops, and she was, I think, 70 years old at this time. And clearly a friend of Ella's. They go off together, and Aunt Mops has a car, so Dmitri finds that interesting. I'm sure other members of the imperial family had cars, and he'd been in cars, but still it was fun for Aunt Mops to take them all for a ride, and I doubt very much that she herself was driving. All right, but why not? She could have been. So the evening before 2 evenings before their departure, they have a farewell dinner with Aunt and Uncle, so Nikki and Alex, and they bring gifts, and they receive gifts. So the gifts they bring are little icons, and I'm sure those were very much appreciated. I'm sure they were exquisite little icons. So I have an icon here, which I think will make you laugh. This is actually the icon of the imperial family, and you can see there is Alexei, Nicholas, and Alexandra, and the girls, and one of them, are they in nurses' uniforms, I think? And the Grand Dukes, including Dmitri's father, they're not saints. Ella became a saint, but of course she had been a nun before the revolution, and the rest of the imperial were not saints. They're considered martyrs or passion bearers. And the funny thing about this icon, and the sad thing, of course, is that one of my Great Danes, it's a puppy, got a hold of it and did a lot of damage before I could get it away from him. So now I've learned a lesson, and with Great Danes you have to, of course, put things very high up. I can't really have a home altar anymore. So there's the old saying, this is why we can't have nice things. My Great Dane has even on one or two occasions got things off the top of the refrigerator. So that's always a challenge. But anyway, maybe this size, maybe smaller. This is just, of course, a sticker on a piece of wood. And what did they get? Well, Maria got a chain with gems. Very nice gift for a 16-year-old girl. I wonder what happened to it. And Dmitri got a watch. It's a wonderful watch, and he's very touched by it. But boy, the little guy must have had quite a collection of watches, because this was a popular gift, apparently, for him. His grandfather, George I of Greece, had also given him a watch that he thought was wonderful. So, and I wonder, every time I read about these things, I always wonder what happened to them and how many of those watches he kept as he grew older, and if any of them made it out of Russia with him when he was banished in December 1916. All right, so Aunt Alex is sick, sort of. She had a lot of psychosomatic symptoms, but a toothache and a headache, yeah, especially the toothache. There's really nothing psychosomatic about that. And now we have the poetic final line, with a heavy heart I laid down my pen until we get to Elinskaya. Oh, how sad. And I never quite know when he's waxing poetic, whether he's being sarcastic or not, whether there's a little bit of that there. You know, he's reading Russian literature and poetry and things like Woe for Wit, and maybe Maybe there's a little sarcasm there, but this is definitely an honestly expressed emotion. He is not looking forward to going to Elinskaya. He is not looking forward to leaving Peterhof. So, yeah, that's really how he's feeling. And it's 12:30, and he's probably either just come back from lunch or will be going to lunch, but I'll leave it there. And tomorrow we have a very, very short entry, just sort of one line about going to arriving in Elinskaya. So I may also dive in and do all or part of the diary for the following day. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. And I'll see you next time. Bye.